In this video, I'm going to cover how you should be structuring your brand's Meta ad account in order to scale post-Andromeda. So as you know, Meta has been making some major changes to how ad accounts should be set up, which means that old media buying strategies are completely dead. And by the way, our agency has spent and ran acquisition for multiple 7- and 8-figure D2C brands across supplements, skincare, wellness, and CPG. And we've spent over 15 million on paid ads in the last 5 years. So everything I'm covering here is based on what we're actually seeing in the accounts that we run. So the way that Meta ads used to work is that you'd pick an audience first, and then you'd take a pile of ad creatives and dump them all into an ad set targeting that audience specifically. So the audience was the strategy, but the creatives were just a fuel for it. That is not how it works anymore. Since the Andromeda update, Meta's algorithm finds the audience by itself based on the actual ad creative. So in 2026, your creative is your audience, not the demographic that you actually picked in the campaign setup, the ad itself. Almost every ad account that I've been looking into is structured for a version of Meta that doesn't even exist anymore. They're still building around an audience or these random creatives while they should be building around overarching ad concepts. I'm Philip. I'm one of the co-founders of AdPunch. We are a paid acquisition agency for D2C brands across supplements, skincare, wellness, and broader consumer packaged goods. So brands work with us because we scale them on Meta further than what they were producing before, while also protecting their unit economics and overall profitability. The reason that we can do all this is we restructure their accounts around how Meta should actually work in 2026, and we call that structure Account OS. Here's what it actually looks like. There's 3 core campaigns, and each one has a job. The first campaign is a testing campaign. This is where all new ad concepts get launched for the first time. And before I go any further, a concept is just 3 things. So a persona, an angle, and an offer. The persona is who you're talking to, the angle is how you're talking to them, and the offer is actually what you're putting in front of them to encourage them to purchase. Get those 3 the same and you've basically got one concept. If you drastically change any one of them, then you've got a different overarching concept that reaches a completely different audience. Inside the testing campaign, each ad set holds every ad that shares the same overarching concept. So whether it's UGC, whether it's employee generated content or a static or any other format, it will sit under the same persona, angle, and offer because it's the same concept. That's how the algorithm finds the right audience for it cleanly without it getting confused. If you mix multiple concepts inside the same ad set, then the algorithm has no idea who to actually serve the ads to, but if you keep them clean, it just basically does all of the work for you. The brands we work with see huge lifts in concept hit rate just by getting this structure correct first, and when an ad proves that it works, it graduates then and it moves to the second campaign, which is the scaling campaign. This one is built a little bit differently. It uses a bid cap, which means that Meta won't spend more than your CPA that you set. This allows you to set an inflated daily budget on the campaign so that you're not actually limiting Meta with a budget ceiling, but instead you're giving Meta all of the budget it needs to acquire the maximum number of customers at your set CPA. Because if you set a CPA target and a tight budget, then you're putting 2 ceilings on the algorithm and it just can't optimize properly. But with this strategy, winners get pushed as hard as they can go without breaking the unit economics of your brand. We've used this exact setup to literally 7x a brand spend on Meta in under 3 months while their profitability held the entire way. And if a winner fatigues, or if a testing campaign ad shows potential but didn't get enough spend, it doesn't get completely cut. It actually goes into a third ad campaign where it's called the graveyard campaign. And this is just where ads with proven signals sit on a low bid cap that pick up cheap incremental conversions with no real risk of dragging the overall performance of the ad account down. Most agencies just kill these ads, but we found that running them at a low bid cap in a graveyard campaign typically picks up 5 to 15% of additional conversions a month for the brand, and they were previously throwing these away. So there's 3 core campaigns for scaling your ad account. Ad creatives funneled into them correctly, winners get scaled, faded winners stay productive, and losers get cut completely. That is the structure, but building it, knowing which signals to use, when to graduate a concept, when to cut a loser, what counts as a real concept versus what is just a variation, what bid strategy to use at each tier, that's the part that actually takes work, and that's what we do all day. But just having an ad account structured in this way will change everything you do after this. Why am I telling you this? Well, it's because last year I did over 70 ad account audits from ecom brands ranging from 75k per month to 1.8 million per month. And the problem that most of them ran into is that they're testing creatives by randomly bunching them together in just random ad sets with multiple angles. As a result, the meta algorithm gets completely confused on the audience to show these ads to, performance will wobble or completely plateau, and they can never really tell you why one month worked and the next month didn't. Or worse, many of these smaller brands on that scale have consolidated everything into one mega campaign because some guru told them that that's the new meta. It genuinely isn't. We've never seen a brand that consistently sustains serious spend on a single consolidated campaign. Not once in hundreds of ad accounts that we've audited over the past couple of years. So it looks tidy on a screenshot, it falls apart when you really scale your spend. Let me show you what restructuring your ad account properly actually achieves. A tea brand had been with the same agency for 2 years. The second year, the account had completely capped. Nothing they did moved the needle. We restructured their entire ad account around Account OS, and then we tripled their monthly ad spend completely profitably, while their CPA still dropped over 30%. And new customer ROAS jumped by 78% from a 1.2x to a 2.19x. This was the same products, the same brand, just a different account structure and creatives feeding into it. A cacao brand that had plateaued for 5 years and had their founder running their ads herself after a previous agency tried and failed to run them. We took over and set up the account properly, and within 5 months, their monthly revenue was up 79%, while their cost per acquisition had dropped down 37% at the same time. So we doubled their business while they paid less for a customer and not more. And this strategy holds at bigger numbers also. For a supplement brand that had a pharmacist founder, we restructured their account, and after 90 days, revenue had doubled and order volume went up by 52%, with the majority of those being new customers. So if you're bigger or smaller than these brands, it doesn't really matter. That's the whole point. It's not about size. It's about having the correct structure that lets the ad account compound instead of just resetting every month like so many brands are doing. Because for most brands and agencies, they're still running a 2024 structure where it's audience-led, bunching creatives together in random groups. And when performance dips or it stalls, they just throw a bunch of random ads at the account, and they can never really tell you why it's not performing. We don't do that because the structure tells us where to look, what angles perform, and what audience resonates, and how we can take that and apply that to creative strategy going forward. My co-founder Pierce and I have over 10 years of combined experience between us, and when brands work with us, the both of us being founders are on and working in every single account. None of our clients actually get handed off to a junior media buyer or junior team members that they've never met. Our strategists, designers and editors do handle the bulk of production, but the strategy and the structure, that's always on us as owners. We're a boutique agency for a purpose, and that's what works for us. So if any of this hit a nerve, we do a free Profit Gap Audit where we pull apart your ad account, your creative production, and all of your unit economics, and we'll show you exactly how your ad account is structured today versus how it should be structured, and the growth that's actually getting left on the table for your current strategy. You walk away knowing exactly what's broken and exactly what to do about it. So whether you work with us or not, the link is below to book. We can't do these for everyone, obviously. So if it's relevant for you, grab a time while there's one there. And either way, just go and look at your ad account and ask yourself, is it set up the way that Meta worked 2 years ago? Or is it set up correctly for how Meta works now, especially post-Andromeda? So that one question is really going to be the difference between an account that scales and an account that stalls.